Hello. Y'all smell good.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998. And if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. What up, Colorado? Shout out to everyone in Denver. Everyone in Boulder County, what up? Boulder County, what up? Fort Collins, what up, Fort Collins? Shout out to Aurora, everyone in Aurora, Colorado. What up? Longmont, what up? Greenwood Village, what up? Colorado Springs, how y'all doing down in the south side? Thank you guys for joining. Excuse me. Thank you guys for joining. It's your boy Conserviz 34. And I'm excited because we definitely have at least 3 guests tonight. And so we're going to hear from the people. Let's pull up the set list right here. And if you were like me, I was listening on Sirius XM radio. They have mastered the Sirius XM stream. They have it's so much better than it was before. and I think we need to just give credit to Ari and the Sirius XM crew, because in 2018, 2019, listen, some of them streams were rough. Okay,
Bruh.
they were rough.
Bruh.
Like they were just, there was some stuff, and some of it was weather based. But listen, whatever they did, whether it was the band, whether it was Sirius XM, these streams are much better, and it really influenced a lot of how I felt about the show tonight, and many of the shows that we've seen for 2021 and 2022. But without further ado, I do want to get to our first guest. We want to hear from the people that was at this show, and we are going to have Conor F on first, coming from the Midwest, but now he's in the Mountain West. Conor, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So the show just ended. You were ready to go and talk about it. Walk us through. What did you think of this show?
It was a pretty good show. Songs that I haven't heard in a long time. I've never heard the riff before. So very energy, very small venue. Felt very intimate there. No time to get out. So that was fine with me too.
That's awesome. And where were you sitting today, or standing?
We were in the upper pavilion.
All right. And so you go to Alpine a lot. You were Deer Creek. You've been to Deer Creek and some of these awesome sounding venues. What did you think of the sound at Fiddler's?
The sound at Fiddler's was pretty good. We were positioned right in front of one of the long speaker towers, but to me, the acoustics of the place are very well, especially with the big wall around the entire. It's like a sound trap in there almost.
Okay. And we'll pull up some pictures, because I did see some photos of that where, yeah, just kind of, there is no open space for it. There's no roof or shed, but there's also the wall there at the stage. So what did you think about the first couple of songs? So they start off here with When the World Ends, Funny the Way It Is, and then One Sweet World. What were you thinking as this show kicked off?
It was a pretty good start to the show. I like When the World and Funny the Way It Is and One Sweet World are good complimentary songs to the season start. It could have been better, but I would totally take a When the World Ends opener or something like That Girl Is You.
Absolutely. Of course. Anything over That Girl Is You. Almost. So then we get to Walk Around the Moon, Stay or Leave, and then the riff.
Yeah, that was a pretty good 3-song. Huge fan of Walk Around the Moon. My whole family is a huge fan of Walk Around the Moon. Stay or Leave is, and then I never heard the riff before, so it was a complete treat getting to hear that one for the first time.
That's awesome. And yeah, it's a great song, and you really had to kind of be, the thing with the riff is you had to kind of be at that winter tour or select dates in 2013 or 2012. It's just such a sparsely played song. But we were talking, I don't know, you probably saw on Twitter, I know your dad's a Fish fan. The Fish album Rift was not played at all in Colorado last weekend. No song from Rift. And in the last week plus, you know, they have played the riff. DMB has played the riff twice. So a little bit of interesting change in the universe. Usually there's a song from Rift in a Fish run, like at Dick's or at an Alpine or any 3 or 2 or 4 night run.
City or something like that.
You'll get
That's kind of crazy.
And,
that's definitely surprising.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call you, Connor, because it is cutting in and out.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I'm gonna call you. Okay. Yeah, I just want
Yeah.
to make sure everyone can hear. I mean, I just want to make sure it's right. So I'm gonna disconnect and I'll hit you right on the phone here.
Sounds good.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna call Connor just so you guys can get the. But yeah, just a fun fact for the Fish fans. The riff was any song from the album Riff was not played at all last weekend. The 4-night run Thursday through Sunday, Dick's Sporting Good Park. And at the same time, that's in Commerce City, Colorado, I believe. This show's in Greenwood Village, which is south of Denver. But this is all Denver Metro, okay? Both of these shows. Red Rocks is just west of Denver in Morrison. But this is all kind of a little metropolitan area snuggled between the mountains to the west and the plains, well, hours away, but the plains to the east. So let's see. We're gonna call Connor here just to get a better connection.
Hello.
Hey, Connor. Okay, that's much better. So
Yeah, I can hear you much better too.
okay. So we went over some of this stuff at the beginning of the show. Now, what did you think? Because to me, listening at SiriusXM, the Grace is Gone, Buddy Strong's keyboard sounded like it was extra loud in a good way. It was more present. And it sounded like this was just a special Grace is Gone. What did you think of that Grace is Gone?
That honestly was probably the best Grace is Gone I've ever heard, just because Buddy Strong was absolutely killing it on the keyboard. And it did seem like that his keyboard was a lot louder during that song, and that's totally fine with me. I'm a huge fan of the piano jam at the end of that song, so to get that so loud and to have him play so well was awesome for me. Very, very good. Very good.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree 100%. I think the piano is an instrument that can be highlighted more as far as its sound level, and it complements Dave's guitar.
I would agree.
It
Yeah.
complements the spirit of what Butch did, even though Buddy is not Butch. He's a different player, but it just gives you that spirit. Having that piano in there just makes it everything sound better. And then we get to, after Grace is Gone, we have You Never Know, Madman's Eyes, Lover Lay Down. This is a little bit of a run for Jeff, where he's playing soprano sax on a lot of this stuff here in the three songs. He's highlighted, he's present. What did you think of Jeff Coffin as he has this little run through You Never Know, Madman's and Lover Lay Down?
Yeah, definitely a good run. You Never Know is an absolutely great song. It was my first time hearing it all year, and I really wanted to hear it, so I'm glad that they played it here. Madman's Eyes is always a fun song. I think it's going to sound great on the new album that we should have already heard of. And Lover Lay Down, it's been forever since I've heard that song. So definitely nice to hear that one too. Jeff did great on all three of them with the soprano sax.
Gotcha. And we have, after that, a little bit of a switch up. We have She, You Might Die Trying, and the first You and Me in 7 shows. What'd you think of this set of songs here?
My dad is a huge She fan, so he was going crazy during that one. You Might Die Trying is a fan favorite of mine. Just the message of the song, how powerful it sounds. You know, and the outro of Dave just yelling, really good. And then You and Me, it's always a hit. Everyone's going to love it. And I'm surprised that it's been 7 shows since they've played that song.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been like at the Gorge or at West Palm.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting that it's been that long between plays.
It's the longest gap of the year. I found last year there was an 8 gap run where it wasn't played between West Palm Beach and Syracuse. But other than that, the current formation of this band, there's been a lot of you and me. I think it makes it better when it's not. I didn't dislike it as much because I haven't heard it during the couch tours and the other the Sirius XM streams. I think it was nice that it did take a little bit of a nap, or did get locked up for a little bit. And
right, took a bit of a break.
Yeah, and you might die trying. There was some awesome improv there. Dave was I should have wrote it down, but he was. What do you think of the improv at the end of You Might Die Trying?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was kind of too distracted overall to really focus on it. I'm sure if I was listening to the Sirius XM stream, I would have picked it up more. But overall, the end of the song sounded pretty good, as it is.
All right, and then we get a Jimmy thing. Steady as we go. Don't drink the water. Warehouse to close out. What do you think of the ending of the main set here?
I thought the ending was pretty good. Jimmy thing. I personally love Jimmy thing. The Tim and Buddy, them going back and forth.
Yep.
That's probably my favorite part of the entire song. So it was nice that we got an extended, version of that. And the horns that before the little improv thing they do at the end is always nice as well. Yeah. And then Steady as We Go. That's always, I don't want to say a sleeper, but after Jimmy thing, I thought they would have had like another loud song, like Don't Drink the Water. But I do like Steady as We Go. Don't Drink the Water and Warehouse are two good songs. Warehouse is a good closer. I like Warehouse as a closer a lot.
Yeah, and you guys got to extend that extended intro to Don't Drink the Water. After Don't Drink the Water, there was the kind of like an epic, like that kind of like old school intro into Warehouse. Not the but just kind of like an elongated intro that they've done every now and then they went to the stop time.
Yeah.
So you got some suspense before Don't Drink the Water, after Don't Drink the Water, and then you get the stop time. So definitely special. Now tell us about the encore, Rye Whiskey and the two-step. What were you expecting? What did you get? What did you think of it?
So right when the main set ended, it was around 10 o'clock. So I thought we were going to get a 3-song encore. This is actually my second Rye Whiskey two-step encore of the year. Wait, I think it's actually my third Rye Whiskey two-step encore of the year. Blossom and Alpine. We got that same 2-song encore. So it's a good 2 songs. I really like Rye Whiskey, and two-step is my top 3. So I'm definitely not complaining, but I definitely assumed with how early it seemed that the show ended, we would have had 3 songs in the encore.
Gotcha. And so you were on tour in the Midwest. How does this show shape up compared to the Midwest run that you had earlier in July?
Definitely, I don't want to say that the show was disappointing, because it was really good. But we've had some better shows. Like both of the Alpine shows were better than this one, and the Deer Creek shows. I feel like tomorrow is going to bring a lot more of the heavy hitters into the rotation. This show kind of felt like a warm-up gig. Okay. But it definitely is still a good show.
Yeah, and you have, just to give you a breakdown, 3 Under the Table and Dreaming songs, 2 Crash, 2 Busted Stuff, 2 Unreleased, 2 Stand-Up, 2 Big Whiskey, and then we have a single plays of Remember 2 Things Before These Crowded Streets, Every Day, a cover, obviously Rye Whiskey, Some Devil, and Away from the World, and 1 Come Tomorrow. So we're seeing more and more, at least from this current Gorge, post
West Coast run.
Yeah, post Florida, we're seeing post West Palm Beach, we're seeing a lot of shows where you have a spread across so many different outlets. It's not like we have 4 or 5 from Crash or Under the Table. Like, they're really spreading this thing out.
Right. Getting a lot of old stuff, some stuff in the middle, and then some new stuff. I do like the spread out shows a lot. I mean, I could always use like if it was before these crowded street songs, I wouldn't complain. But personally, I really do like the spread out, the diverse shows from different eras of the band.
Yeah. And we'll get into more of this later. But let's see. I'm trying to pull up your here we go. Just so people can see this. So you got in line early for this poster, and let's give me one moment. We're still trying to get to this here. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, you here? Well, we'll get it here. There it is. So we got the picture of you with this poster. Tell us about your experience lining up for this poster.
Yeah, we showed up very early because we were at breakfast at Waffle House this morning, and I get the notification on my phone that the poster is up, and we all our jaws hit the floor. Like, we needed this poster so bad. So we get to the venue really early, and the merch stand said that it wouldn't open until 5. It was probably like 5:30 or when it opened. So we were sitting there for a very large portion of the day, but yeah, like over 3 hours, and very satisfied once I got this poster. The colors really pop once you look at it like in person instead of a digitalized version, but very much worth it getting that poster. And like I said, I love this poster a lot. I needed it, so it was very much worth it waiting that time.
I'll tell you this. The Mumford Posters, I was at the Mansfield show, and I actually regret not getting that poster. But I was at the Mansfield show, and I see the digital version. I see that's really cool, but there'll probably be some better ones coming up this year. I see a physical poster someone got right before they sold out, and I'm like, oh, if I knew it looked like that, I would have bought it. And today, I knew obviously from that experience, hey, the digital one is not going to look as good as the real one. You then tag me in this photo that I have shared, and I'm like, yeah, the picture you have from a high quality iPhone photo or smartphone picture, it, even though I'm not there, it's a totally different vibe in a good way. Looking at this picture where you're showing off the poster. So I definitely see where these Mumford posters, you have to at least line up and see what it looks like before you decide to pass, because these are 2 posters. I know there was one in Jacksonville as well, and we'll get to that later in the show, but it's just amazing how great they look in person versus looking at a digital file of it.
Right. I mean, we're poster collectors like this. We have invested a ton into these posters, and all of them look so much better in person. The color contrast is a lot better in person than on the digitalized version. Like the Spac Night one from last year with like the moon and the sun, the colors look very almost bright and sort of diluted. But when I got that print in person, all of the different, like the purples and the oranges, the blues and the yellows, those all just popped out to me, and I fell in love with that print when I got it in my hands, and with most of them, they look so much better in person.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Connor, we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you so much for giving your insight. You had the Midwest run. Now you're out in the Mountain West. So enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, you enjoy the rest of your night as well, and we'll reconvene tomorrow.
Sounds good. Take care. Peace.
Hey, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, so that's Conor F. He's from the Chicago suburbs, and he came out for these shows here in the Midwest. And yeah, we'll talk about the poster in a little bit. CD, hey, shout out to CD. I'm gonna message you. I saw your thing. I had to hop on, but I saw you message me and saw you're moving out to AZ. So we'll talk after. Maybe not tonight, but I'll hit you up tomorrow. Ooh, excuse me. Um, yeah, great ending. Yeah, that you might die trying. Let's actually, I want to see if we can give me one moment. I want to pull this up because someone tagged me in this, and I want to see if we can get Trey B. Shout out to Trey B, who I met at Alpine. So he's got this. You might die trying. He did the full thing. Let's try to listen to some of this here, and then we'll get to our next caller as well. So he's talking about like winning a game, winning or losing, but he's gonna make the most of it. That's what stood out to me. Make the most of it. Dave seems to be in a very inspired and motivated space right now. This band sounds amazing, and this improv is just further illustrating the great space this band is in right now. I love this type of off the cuff improv. You don't see it a lot now. He does improv and scat and all that stuff, but like I heard this and I was like, yo, this is Dave. Like this is inspired Dave Matthews, and I'll tell you this about the album. The album can come when the album can come. I'm trying to soak in. I'm really trying to soak in the creative space this band is in. Like when we look at this set list too, let's go back to the set list. This set list on paper is not, it doesn't. Now, some of it does pop, right? Some of it does pop. But listening to these shows, this is why we take the calls. This is why I'm listening in on Sirius XM like I did tonight. This show, like When the World Ends, I've been sick of that song. I didn't mind it tonight because, and I also have the mindset that, listen, Dave is going to do what Dave is going to do. But like, I just know that you have to be patient because you're going to get to that sweet spot in the set list. And sure enough, One Sweet World, Walk Around the Moon, Stay or Leave the Riff was a heck of a run. 41 to Grace Is Gone, You Never Know, Madman's Eyes, A Lover Laid Down. That is a run that, yes, there's no Stone still. There's no Pig still. There's only one Before These Crowded Streets song, and it was Don't Drink the Water. But that run of songs was amazing. I mean, just simply amazing. I just enjoyed listening to that. And even as I listened back to the Gorge Night 2 in its full, shout out to Andy Mendoza. You heard the You Never Know at the beginning. I just love where this band is right now. The album can wait. I'm sorry, the album can wait. I want to soak in these live shows. What we're gonna do? Hang tight, John. We're gonna get Jessica on the line. I do want to catch her before she chill is done for the night, or not done for the night, but I want to make sure she gets back and goes home, and then we'll end with the hometown, or not the hometown. Well, he's from the Chicago area, but this is his home, the Colorado, Denver metro. But let's talk to Jessica here.
Hello.
Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Marcus.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So we're talking about this show. We just had Conor on. This is by the way, this is an all Midwest show. Conor's from Chicago. You're obviously in Wisconsin, and then our last guest, while he lives in Denver, or the Denver metro, he's from Chicago originally as well. So everyone from the Midwest has moved out west. But talk to us about this show. What do you think about the show?
It was an awesome show. I got to go with my aunt, who's with me here, and she's from Wisconsin but lives in Denver now.
Oh, wow. So she's out there. Okay, that's awesome.
And it's been a minute since she saw Dave. So it was super cool. It was really good. There's more altitude here than the Midwest.
Yes.
But we found some good dancing space and had ourselves a good time.
That's awesome. And although Alpine kind of gives you a little bit of a practice, it's a little further off sea level than the rest of the Midwest. But that is an important thing. If anyone goes out to Denver for anything, Red Rocks, anything, just be careful with your consumption of alcohol, your inhaling of various incense, because it does seriously impact your how you feel. Altitude sickness can hit you harder, or hit you because you are going too hard with the tailgate. But so this is you were here last year, and you're back this year. And what did you think overall of your experience this year compared to last year and to your Midwest shows from earlier?
It was a little colder today, a little misty. But we were kind of towards the back of the seats, the reserve seats, and our view and our sound was really good. I don't remember that necessarily from last year. So that was pretty cool. And I thought the set list was really good.
What was your favorite song of the night?
Ooh. I really like Jimmy Thing Tonight.
Wow.
I don't think I say that.
Yeah, I was like, are you okay? Have you been, are you okay?
It's the altitude.
Yeah. What made, but I did actually, I will say that the Jimmy thing sounded really smooth. What to you at the show, what made this stick out to you?
I think it was over 15 minutes. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I think it's because we had a little more space to dance and people were really into it. We went to the restroom and came back and kind of found a spot with a little more space in the aisle, and people were really into Jimmy Thing.
Gotcha. For those of you guys who don't know why she had that joke, I am all about shortening the Dave Matthews Band performances of certain songs. So we say nothing over 15 minutes for the most part, right?
You don't say that. You say that, Marcus.
Once you hit that 15-minute mark, if I had my way, I would cut the electricity just for that song, and then you'd have to go to the next song. So, but that's why they don't have me in control. I think people would be mad at me if I stopped songs abruptly. So the riff. Tell us about this. This was a personal liberation. You hadn't heard this song since 2012. I'm sure a lot has changed in the world since in the last decade. So, what did you think of this riff in Denver, or sorry, at Fiddler's?
It was good. I was surprised that they played it. So now I'm curious about what we'll see tomorrow night. Of things that they've been kind of pulling out from that have been on break. And I feel like Dave's songs seem to find new meaning as time goes by.
Gotcha.
So it was a good one.
Yeah.
I was glad.
I love that I love that song. I've heard both of them on Sirius XM, and it's a great song. So it looks like your aunt had been to shows back in 1994. It looks like, is it the 15th and 16th of January at the Fox Theater in Boulder? Is that correct?
So we couldn't figure it out. I'll let her tell you.
Yeah, it was. This is Aunt Karen. We think it was around then. It was actually when Dave Matthews was just starting to become a big name, and the radio station in Boulder, KBCO, that has always been kind of like the alternative station, played a lot of his music. And every year they had an auction that I used to go to, where they'd auction off a lot of rock and roll art, autographed CDs, lithographs, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I went to one. We think it was in 1994. I have the ticket somewhere, but we didn't get a chance to look it up. Where Dave Matthews was performing. So it was in the theater, and you'd have in the lobby, you'd have all this, you'd have drinks and stuff like that, but you have all this art and all this stuff that they're trying to auction for probably the Boulder Food Bank. That's one of their charities they like. And then you'd have performers on stage, and Dave Matthews was one of them. So it was pretty cool. It was one of those where you get them signed up to do this small gig, and between the time you sign them up and the performance, they become much bigger. So you're really lucky to see them in that venue.
Yeah, and I believe I'm looking it up right now. I want to say there was a show or performance where Dave Matthews was at the radio station or somewhere where he just performed outside in Colorado. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. I want to say it was in the mid 90s as well.
Well, they do it. The radio station, if it's KBCO, they do a thing called Studio C, where if somebody's in town to do a gig, they'll have them down at the station, and they'll just play usually acoustic, and they'll play 3 or 4 songs and interview them and that kind of thing. And I've been to a couple of those as well.
Okay.
Not with Dave Matthews, but with other groups.
Gotcha. Well, that's awesome, and that's really cool that you were able to kind of experience, this band at a time where their whole lives and the whole trajectory of even music was changing. Although I say this as I was 4 years old back in '94, but as the grunge.
Well, I was 14.
So. Gotcha. As grunge was ending and kind of wrapping up, and then you have this whole open world of where does rock music go, from this post Nirvana world. So that's very awesome. You got to experience that. And tonight, what really what stuck out to you for this show, seeing that it's, it's been a while?
Well, I think the show was fantastic. I mean, the way they go out there and they just put it all out there. I love the fact that they have the trumpet and saxophone and the flute, and I love the way he changes tempos, where he starts off kind of quiet and all that, and all of a sudden it explodes. I am not as familiar with all of the songs as my niece is, so I wish I was, because at a concert you just want to sing along. But of course, the highlight was that she came out and we got to do it, because the last time she was out here, she was a teenager. Last time her and I went to a concert together here, she was a teenager, and we went to Fiddler's Green and we saw the B-52s.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was a long time ago as well. Which would we say, like 98? So it had been a long time since. I've certainly gone to other concerts with her in the Midwest when I would go back to visit family. Most recently, I think the last concert we saw together was the Killers in Milwaukee, right before the pandemic. No, 2017 or 18. Yeah. And so it was fun to have her out here for sure. And being an adult where I don't have to sneak her wine coolers or anything like that.
I was gonna say, last year she was out there with her sister, who I met at Alpine, and I heard they were having their fun. So I guess you weren't included last year.
Nope, our family knows how to have fun. Some years are sister years, and some years are aunt years.
Yes, and I got the whole experience at Alpine, at the tailgate. Everyone was so kind and so nice. So I appreciate that Midwest hospitality. And the crowd, what did you guys think of the crowd and the environment and just the things before and after the show that you kind of experienced going to a concert? What was it like today?
Well, to me, it was definitely a Dave crowd. I mean, everybody was just, you could tell they were just there. They were just hyped up to see Dave Matthews, and everybody just seemed to be in a great mood, totally mellow. I personally don't care for Fiddler's Green as a venue, but it has mellowed out over the years. Like the dancing in the aisles that Jessica was referring to never would have been allowed in the earlier years at that venue.
Oh, okay.
It was very appreciated that, just let people be. There was no problems whatsoever. You could tell people were really, really into the music.
I see. So kind of a reputation where like the ushers and the staff doesn't let that free flowing.
Yeah, you could do a whole show on that, but I won't talk about it tonight. But yeah, they when they opened that venue, they were pretty militant about everything, and it was just extreme. Whereas let people go to concerts and they all work it out. 99 out of 100 people are there just to have a great time, and you don't need all kinds of rules and people in charge telling you what to do.
Gotcha. And I know one of my friends comes from New York State out here he's been to Fiddlers to record the shows and tape them so we can all listen if we weren't there. I think one of the things he mentioned about the venue, he says it's in a business park. It's not like Red Rocks or like going downtown to now it's the Ball Arena, but it used to be the Pepsi Center, or going to the soccer stadium, Dick's Sporting Good Park. He said it has a different vibe to him, and it's surrounded by those business buildings, those commercial buildings, and it's kind of off the highway. And he kind of mentioned that it wasn't one of his favorite venues compared to just down the road, in Morrison at Red Rocks, or up the road in Boulder County at Folsom Field. He says it's a very, for what Colorado used to be for Dave Matthews and still for concerts outside of Fiddlers, it's a whole different vibe than everything else that you experience.
It is, generally it is. I mean, I've been to concerts there where if you get up to dance, you know, in your seat, the people behind you will tell you to sit down. I mean, come on. But Red Rocks, there's nothing like Red Rocks. Absolutely. In fact, Dave Matthews, his music and his personality and all that are probably better suited to Red Rocks, but his fan base dictates that he goes to a bigger venue like Fiddler's Green.
Right. They've sold it so
well. But I think
well.
tonight's crowd was more like bringing a Red Rocks crowd into Fiddler's Green. And, you know, that's only to the credit of Dave.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, what's interesting, Fiddlers has sold so well. It's the best-selling West Coast tour stop by percentage. By that, I mean, if there's 20,000 seats, they're the closest, whatever the capacity is for each venue out west, they have the highest percentage of tickets sold. And they have the highest, to me, what I've seen is their lawn sales are the highest out west than any other venue compared to what the capacity is. So they definitely want to keep it at Fiddlers. There's also the stage setup they have. All that equipment is harder to unload now. Obviously, in the 90s, they had a couple of lights and whatever. Now they have tons and tons, literally tons and tons more equipment. So one of the things we'll be talking about tomorrow is this idea: what will they ever go back? But I hope they do. If they do, I will try to make that trip to Red Rocks. If they actually do a show, if they do a Dave solo, if he's just there with 2 band members, I will do whatever it takes to see him there.
Yeah, I will almost guarantee at some point in time he will do that.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. But thank you guys so much, Jessica and Aunt Karen.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much, and you guys enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So just great perspective. Obviously, you guys, Jessica was just on the last stream, and then her aunt has that experience of being out in Colorado for some time now, you know, as far as in her adult life. So very cool to get that perspective, to get someone who saw this band when they were on the come up and really at the turning point of the band, 94-ish. And now she sees them in 2022, loves the additional instruments that they have and loves the environment of Dave fans. I think that's an interesting thing, comparing and contrasting to some other shows at the same venue where people sit down, people aren't as happy and joyful. And it kind of, that's what you go to shows for, the environment. And that's good. That's the feeling that she had, is that it was just a fun crowd. All right. So next we're going to keep the train going. And we're going to stay into this either the Born in the Midwest show. So we're going to bring on Jon, lives in Colorado, from Chicago, and we're going to get some of his reaction. So Jon, what did you think of this show?
It was good, man. Definitely excited for tomorrow after tonight. This was one of the first tours where I haven't actually traveled to go catch any shows before the Colorado one. So, like, once they came on the stage tonight, I was just so happy to be back and seeing them again. I was just so excited.
Awesome. How many times have you been to Dave shows here at Fiddlers? Do you know about ballpark? Or?
So tonight would have been my 7th at Fiddlers.
Oh, wow. So you've seen them here a lot. What was the environment like tonight compared to these other experiences you've had here?
So unfortunately, the last few shows here have been pretty cold. My wife Jessica actually asked me, she's like, I wonder what the record is for like the coldest Dave show. So, because tomorrow it's going to be like in the probably mid 40s, but like I feel like the rain tonight, brought it down just a little bit, but everybody was still having a really good time. It was just a little bit colder.
So I can tell you that it's Salt Lake City in 2002. They played at Centennial Park. That would have been the coldest one. I think the almanac may have, let's see. And actually, we found out from Ants Marching, not Ants Marching, the Matt Norlander podcast, Records and Riffs, that the band was, it was a little bit, they came back from this trip to do Busted stuff, and it didn't, there was a lot of conflict and turmoil. Does it say the temperature? It's definitely the coldest. This is February in Salt Lake City.
Oh yeah, that's for sure going to be the coldest.
And it was outside. They had it outside at the Olympic Meadows Plaza in Salt Lake City, and they actually had, like, Dave had the finger gloves. Let's see, does it show temperature? The weather says freezing cold, but anyway, yeah, it does get worse. So count your blessings. Even though I know that the high is in the upper 50s, the peak of the day tomorrow is in the 50s, and today it was 60s,
yeah,
and 50s.
But it's crazy too, because we just had like 3 of the hottest days on record for September in a row.
Wow. But that's welcome to Colorado, and welcome to.
You get all 4 seasons in one day.
Right. And I remember, on Twitter, I follow some people. We have Shane Whitford, and then DMB Lover. And DMB Lover has a drop top convertible. And I think it was last year, one day she's in the convertible, the next day the top's up and it's freezing. So it's just one of those things. And it happens here in New England. It happens in the Midwest, I know. So this show, what would you say your favorite song was of the set list?
The riff. I haven't got that one in a real long time. I forgot when I last got it, but it's obviously been a while since I just busted it out recently for the first time in a while. And then I would say You Might Die Trying was awesome tonight. Definitely, I would say one of my highlights. I thought that they really brought it on that one. Yeah, I really liked You Might Die Trying the most, I'd say, probably for tonight. Well, obviously two-step, but
yeah, but that You Might Die Trying from the radio stream, it just, like us at the end, that was awesome. That was a standout moment. The Grace Is Gone, the end of that was a standout moment. In the
my mom and mother-in-law were both getting down to that one in the lawn tonight.
Oh, nice. And I saw the picture. I think that was on Facebook. I saw you guys all there. Very awesome to see you guys all there and having a good time. And so, yeah, it's just, that's what this band, I think that's one of the things about this current run they're on. There are certain songs that just pop out to you that, yes, probably if this was, 2019, Two Step would be the best performed song. But when you have songs like the riff coming back, when you have special moments in You Might Die Trying, and it's also at the middle of this, kind of the middle end of the set, it's not, there's 2 different things, the great songs that they play, and then there's the great performances of songs that they play. What'd you think of the sound there? Again, you're an expert at this venue. What'd you think of the sound in the mix tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the sound was good. I definitely enjoy shows at Fiddlers. I feel like the sound's pretty good there. They, especially where we are at in the lawn, we sit like right behind one of the speakers and, can hear everything clear. Typically, I kind of struggle to hear Stefan's bass sometimes, but tonight, I heard it real well. So that is awesome.
I gotta say, I believe it was Grace Is Gone. I tweeted it. There was a point in the show, because I think I said last week, as I'm listening to Fish's Thursday night run with no D&B on Thursday, I'm like, I really, really wish that we could have moments like Fish does, where you have the bass, the rest of the band is just kind of down low and the bass has time to shine. And it was Love or Lay Down. This is what I tweeted. I said, Lover Lay Down tonight featured some awesome highlights of Stefan's bass going back and forth with Jeff on soprano sax. And to me, this was just, it was awesome because, like you said, you could hear you at the show and me, Sirius XM Radio. You could hear Stefan's bass, and it wasn't like, because outside of that, it's usually you have to wait for Anyone Sees the Bridge or the beginning of Crush.
Yeah.
Because after the rest of the band comes on Crush, you really like you know Stefan is there, but it's not as present as it used to be. So
yeah. No, I definitely heard him tonight. It was awesome.
yeah, and I see behind you, there's and we'll zoom in here so people can see more. You got all these posters. I see the Gorge Night 1 from 2019. I see looks like the car, those are the Vegas. Is that the Queen and the Jack or the
yeah, it's Alpine 2009. That was my very first show.
Awesome. That's a great way to start Alpine.
Yeah.
Right
and then I got Chicago last year, Chicago, and then Chicago and then the Noblesville Rocket.
Awesome. So you got some great posters. So we're going to actually talk about, I'm going to pull up Dan Mumford's page. What did you think about the poster today?
I liked it. I know a lot of people were saying that it looked a lot similar to other ones that he did, but I don't know if you saw earlier in the day, he had come out and said that this was like a final of 3 prints.
Yes.
Or like a series. Yeah.
So we have them right here. And this is what I wanted to talk about because I went to this show, and again, I saw this digital. I said, this is cool. But then I saw someone in the venue with it, and I'm like, oh, I should have got it. And I'm not really, I probably will get it later. I don't want to pay too much. I really would right now. If it's not at like $70-$80, I'm not buying it. Yeah. But the value of it is more. So I may reassess that later.
Yeah.
A couple years from now. So it's not pressing, but I kind of wish I had it. This is one, it's from Jacksonville. And again, you have this woman. So it's a part of it's a trilogy right here. And then obviously he has the triptych from the Gorge, which is amazing. But what I wanted to say to people, if you're watching, is to me, like, obviously you can say, oh, these all look the same, but what's the odds? Even as a super fan, people who travel to all these shows, the odds that you went to Jacksonville, Mansfield, and Fiddler's is pretty slim. And what I like about this poster is if you're in the South, you could get a Mumford. If you're in Mansfield, you could get a Mumford. And then if you're in Colorado or you're going to Fiddler's from all points out in the Midwest and the West Coast, that seems to be the trend. People from the Gorge who went to the Gorge from Colorado and the Wyoming and Big Sky Country, they're all coming back to Fiddler's. I saw all the people on social media. They're coming back to Fiddler's. And then you have people from the Midwest. Hey, it's been a couple months since Alpine and Deer Creek. I'm coming back.
I got lucky too. I got the very last foil.
Oh, that's awesome. but I just want to reiterate that I would rather have these every different region got, well, the West, the South, and the Northeast, they got a version of this. So yes, it is very similar. But if you only went to this show, you get an iteration of it. It'd be one thing if like Mumford made a SPAC one, a Mansfield one, and a Hartford one within a 5-year period. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy, I may buy the first one or I may buy the second one and that's it. But that's because all those shows I hit every year. So I think it's better. And I think here's the alternative. We've had a lot of in my opinion, we had a lot of mediocre posters. A lot of posters. We have a lot of methanes that some of them have actually been impressive, but some of them have been pretty dull.
Yeah,
And I'd
I'm always
rather
excited. I'm always excited when I can go a weekend without a methane.
yes. And I think what people have to realize, DMB tours so much. So yes, the Grateful Dead and Company, they do not miss. They very rarely is there a Dead and Company poster, but Dead and Company has these small tours. There could be 15 dates, right? But DMB has 40 dates a year. Really, for the last 15 years, they've had 40, if not more.
Yeah.
For the last 15 years, you can guarantee they're going to play about 40 outside of 17, 21, no, 17, 20, and 2011. So my thing is, look, I'd rather have just now. This is not the Gorge. This is not the Sperry. The lovely ladies that we've had from Virginia Beach to Berkeley to Gorge. It's not the Eads, right? It's not the level of Eads where you have the MSG, you have some of the SPAC and the Gorge one. It's not at that level, but I'd rather have this than having a poster that is so a methane. And I really think I would love to see them. Now maybe they have a contract, they have a 5-year contract with methane, like it's a baseball contract,
Yeah.
where they probably maybe they have a 5-year contract with methane to say, hey, and I don't blame DMB for doing this. Hey, we have 40 plus dates a year. We need somebody to make generic posters to fill in the blanks. And I would say about like 1 in every 5 methane posters really hit. Let's just say it's 1 in 5. People may have a different opinion, but like you got to really knock
this one.
Oh, that's methane?
Yeah.
You know what? I was at that show. I saw that. I wouldn't even realize it was methane.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So like let's just say it's 1 in every 5 hit or 1 in whatever. I think that's what the band does because they have so many posters. Now, yes, Fish and Widespread Panic, and back in the day before posters were really a thing, they toured nonstop in their heyday. Now they're slowing down, right? So other bands like that, they're slowing down. The Dead is split up into a couple of different bands. Wolf, they have Bobby does Wolf Brothers. So they don't have to make a poster 40, 50 times a year. And I really think that's one of the things that is important to understand about DMB. Yes, the posters need to get better. The posters need to get better, but at the same time, they have so many posters to fill.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. I mean, they're on the road so much, so they definitely need to hire somebody to do most of them more than the other artists, like you said.
Yeah. So let's see. We got some comments here. Let's see about the poster. Oh, I think to talk about the show. They're coming down from the Gorge High. So we have Hines and Shane were both at the show. Both of them are local to the Denver Metro as well. But I guess one of the things they were saying, and you can give your opinion. It looks like Hines says he felt like they were coming down from the high of the Gorge. Did you feel like the band was like a little bit exhausted or fatigued from the Gorge at all?
Yeah, I would say so. I was expecting them to bust out a couple songs that they may have not played this tour yet. So my hope is to get that tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, it was still a good show in my opinion. But I do agree that there were definitely some slow parts of it for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I mean the set list was chill, but I actually liked that. I will say I thought you guys were gonna get a tour debut. Like probably not. Like I do think there's gonna be something like a spoon that you guys get. because you guys got Spoon a couple years ago, but I really feel something on the lines of like, oh, Spoon is like, oh my God, Spoon is back. Like something along those lines, I think is gonna happen tomorrow.
Yeah, I was at the end there. I was like, oh no, they're gonna do Two Step Aween again. I was hoping for that at the end, real bad, but I realized that they obviously played it last year to end the weekend, so probably not going to do it again. But one can wish.
Yeah. And I thought Warehouse for a second. I thought it was going to be like a drunken soldier. Now after they because you that Warehouse intro that they do, you can kind of notice it. But I was like at that 18 spot to close out the set. I was like, are they going to do a drunken soldier?
Yeah, I thought that too.
Keep in mind, I can't see I'm listening to. I don't do the couch tour on a night like this. I listen straight to Sirius XM. So I'm listening, and I hear that like. So I'm thinking, oh, it could be Drunken Soldier. It could be, and then but once I heard it for like 30 seconds, I'm like, no, this is Warehouse. It's the Warehouse. That's that Warehouse intro they did in it. Like that's what they like. I remember San Francisco, the Super Bowl one was when they brought it back.
Yeah.
But that Warehouse, that epic, like that elongated intro where he's kind of noodling on that dark chord or the minor chord. I was like, okay, that's what it is. But I was like, oh, imagine if Drunken Soldier was played at that 18 spot to close out the set. But they did Warehouse.
Yeah, I thought we were getting Drunken Soldier as well.
Yeah, and you have now. How do you feel? Let's get your opinion. How do you feel about the album? Are you like upset that there's no announcement? Are you like, hey, I like the live stuff better? Are you in the middle? How do you feel about them not really committing to an album announcement?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'll be excited when they do announce it, but I guess I'm not too upset that they're not announcing it right now. I do definitely prefer the live stuff. I really like Walk Around the Moon a lot. Madman's Eyes is definitely growing on me a little bit. I feel like I'd like your opinion, but I feel like it's a little bit heavier than stuff that they normally do. So I feel like that's taken me a little bit to get used to, but it's for sure growing on me. But yeah, I mean, whenever they do announce the album, I'm definitely going to be excited about it, but I don't really, care that they haven't announced it right now.
Gotcha. And I think the majority of the fan base is where you are. You have the message boards and you have some of the diehards who want new music desperately. Like, no, what, they announced a tour without an album? How do they do that? Like, you can't just do it. Like, you have the Hollywood Bowl and you've never not announced an album this late without the Hollywood Bowl. And so I think that's kind of the minority, but it is more of a vocal minority on the message boards. It looks like Jen said it was misting rain. Did you feel?
Yeah, it was misting like the whole night.
I know Dave mentioned like I felt something in the weather. He mentioned the weather app or
he came out in a scarf. I don't know if you saw pictures online.
Yes. Actually, speaking of that, I had a little bit of a joke. So I saw. Let's see. Here it is. So Megan, I believe she's from the Midwest. She did the Gorge and now she's in Denver. But I had this, I said, fall jacket, Dave and Tim. And I said, pumpkin spice and yoga pants sold separately, not available in Kentucky. so yeah, I saw it. But you know what? I know he doesn't have the scarf here. I saw someone else post this, like when he came on with the scarf.
Yeah, he took it off about 3 songs in. I was gonna mention too. I don't know if anyone else saw this, but it looked like Rashawn stepped off early for a couple of songs.
Oh, that's why I didn't hear that loud.
In the beginning, yeah.
I hope he's okay though. I do.
Yeah, I was like maybe the altitude got to him or something, possibly. Right. But yeah, he stepped off for like a couple of songs and then he came back.
You're probably right. It could have been the altitude. It did seem though like, because obviously Grace is gone. He's not on that. But the overall, again, I'm blind, which I actually like. I like actually just listening to the audio for a show, and just that's it. It feels like the old days my grandfather told me about listening to Yankees games on the radio. like
How
like when
was
he,
the stream tonight? Was it good?
oh, it is amazing. And I think I said this at the beginning of this stream, the post show stream. I said the quality of the SiriusXM stream is changing my bias towards how much I love the show. If I would have heard this show with the audio quality of 2019, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. Like you said, you could hear Buddy's keys. Like other people were mentioning the other part, like you could hear Stefan's bit. Like they really have streamlined. I think they may have hired some people or some. I think something happened where they must have hired people or they must have upgraded something. But like it sounded amazing. It sounded like you're on the Nugs app listening to Fish or Widespread Panic or something where you're like, they have the years of experience to give you a product from your home that's great. So
Speaking of Fish, my wife and I are big fans after seeing him for the first time.
and this was you went to one of the Dick's.
Yeah, we went to
shows.
Saturday night last week.
That's awesome. And you know what's funny? As much as they say Fish jams, this year, including the run you went to, they have had some of the most extended jam songs of ever. Like these songs, like the amount of jams that are over, I think it's like 10 minutes or whatever. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
They are even taking their jamming to the next level, which D&B kind of has done too over the years. A lot of the songs have gotten longer, but Fish is just a whole different beast. Just real quick, what stood out to you about the Fish show?
Honestly, like you were saying, just how much they jam. Like they just go real far out there and then just bring it back. I was telling my wife too after the show, it's kind of like they don't do the behind the stage stuff like Dave does. So I was definitely a little surprised by that. They have a cool lights and stuff behind them, but they don't have that screen and visuals like Dave had. So I was a little surprised by that. I thought that they would have that, but that was my first time ever seeing them. So I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah, they invest in their lighting rig, and that's it. They don't invest in screens.
No screens or nothing.
Yeah, it's the light show, and depending on where you are, now that's Dick's. They put the thing up in the middle of one of the end goals for where the Rapids play. It's a little different there because you don't have that full like amphitheater backdrop, and I know Fiddler's has the wall, right? So it's a little different because it's just like you look past the stage on each side, it's open, right? Where I saw Fish at an amphitheater in Hartford, the Meadows, and the light show was just amazing.
Yeah, it was
awesome. You're all focused in and it's all amphitheatered in, and the lights it's just a whole different world of lighting. Although D&B did one up them, I think, with the drones. The drones this weekend was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So, any final thoughts before we let you go about the night, about the show?
Just ready for tomorrow. Excited to go back and be with my people and just jam out and have fun. Thanks for having me on tonight. It was definitely fun talking with you.
All right. Well, thanks, John. You have a good rest of your night. Take care.
All right, you too, Marcus. Have a good one, man.
All right, peace. All right, so thank you to John for coming on. Now, I do want to get to this. Don't Drink the Water was played tonight, so I want to go over some things that I did with Don't Drink the Water. This is inspired. I have to give credit to Henry Hart from the DMB Almanac. He was the one that was on. He was on with us for Gorge Weekend, the Night Zero stream on Thursday. And this kind of inspired what I'm gonna do next. We're back to D&B, guys. We're back to D&B. Is this a fish tree? I love how Hines always says this. It's hilarious. Is this a fish tree? Oh, that's funny. So let's bring up. I'm gonna bring up this graphic, and this is about the speed of "Don't Drink the Water." Now, I have to say, there's gonna be, you'll see, but I would love to go into further detail, but it's gonna take. Actually, maybe I'll talk to Henry if you're listening to the stream. If there's a way to clip the audio, now I know I could do it. I could really, if I wanted to, do it, but I got so much going on. But if one of the things about this "Don't Drink the Water" analysis is to truly understand the beats per minute, you got to cut the intro out. You really got to start from the ba ba the ba da da da, because then you can really find the beats per minute. The intros can mess around here. So this is an analysis I did of the speed of "Don't Drink the Water." Okay. Over the years, it's a known fact that the band has really, it feels like they've sped it up. It's gone through some changes. Tim in '98 was not as loud, although he did have his electric guitar. It was there, but it wasn't as loud. The horns, with the speed going faster, Jeff really pops at you too quick. But we're going to look at various "Don't Drink the Waters" from different years, because I wanted to really look at the different eras as kind of not as a micro, but a macro look at this. All right. So "Don't Drink the Water." This is a song that has changed over the years. A lot of tempo changes. Like I said, electric guitar. And to me, has made the song less enjoyable. But I wanted to focus on the beats per minute to see how quick this song was sped up, or if it was sped up at all. All right, so we're going to take a look and investigate "Don't Drink the Water" and the beats per minute over the years. All right, so Hartford, 8198. I ran these audios through a program. This is Live Tracks 47, I believe. Yeah, 57. Sorry, not 47. I did the Live Tracks 57. This was the first 2-night stand in Hartford was in 1998. It's 99 beats per minute. So just keep that in mind. This is under 100 beats per minute, 8198. To me, this is the best tempo for "Don't Drink the Water." Shane, get some sleep. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, get some sleep. Rest up. You got a whole nother day. And I'm sure your tailgate for the Saturday night is going to be even more lit. Okay, so 8198, 99 beats per minute. SPAC, 829 2000. What shocked me is how quickly the beats per minute popped up. I thought I liked the 2000 "Don't Drink the Waters," but it sped up from 99 to 117. So 117 beats per minute, SPAC 829 2000. Now we're going to get to 02. 161 beats per minute. And again, I love this Gorge live disc box set. I think I have it over there. Someone sent this. I can't remember who sent this in. Maybe it was Alan. But I have the physical CD box set of this that someone sent to me, that they downloaded it all on their computer and they sent it to me. And 161 beats per minute. All right, Central Park, it slows down for 2003. 123 beats per minute. So we started off at 99. Now we're in the 100s easily. And 03, this is a heck of a concert. Arguably one of the best concerts of all time from D&B. Some people have it as their favorite of all time. Speaking of Colorado, 129 beats per minute. So again, 123 to 129. 117 was SPAC. So Gorge was actually faster than Mile High, which was interesting to me. So you go from 123, you get 161 here to 123 to 129. So it was interesting that the 08 version was a little slower than the 02 version. But in this version, you're going to hear Tim CDC. He is going to be blasting through that electric guitar was locked and loaded. And you hear that. And that's what I don't like about the current Don't Drink the Water or this modern post-Roy version. Let's see. All right, Charleston, South Carolina. So this is 6/3/2022. So we skipped from 08 to 22, 123 beats per minute. Now, again, going back to this is 129. So what's interesting is Don't Drink the Water has technically slowed down from this from the 08 to the 6/3/22. So it does slow down, but it's still over 100, by a bit. And then Mansfield, Massachusetts, 136 beats per minute, 6/17/22. I was at this show. First show of the year for me was Mansfield. So it does speed up a little more. Maybe Dave was really just feeling Boston and got a little lit, and the song got quicker. So this is a preliminary analysis. Like I said, doesn't factor in some of the varying times of the song intro, which can impact beats per minute. But it shows a clear trend that over time from 98 to 2022, the song did get faster, even as it did fluctuate. So yeah, there's my little that's the Gorge. If you guys didn't see that breaking news, Pig the Stone and Shotgun go undrafted in the 2022 DMB Gorge run. So I had that little thing there. Tomorrow's another day, and we'll see what we get. I think we got to get Pig of the Stone tomorrow. Before these Crowded Street got one play tonight. I think it's going to get more. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Oh, while you guys are here, hit the like button. Hit the like button, folks. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. Come on. What that does, it helps me to get more exposure. I don't get more money. I don't even get money from this right now. All right. But it'll help to get this conversation to grow, for more people to pop onto this live stream, and then people watch the replay. Shout out to everyone who watches the replay. Shout out to everyone who doesn't comment per se. Maybe you're not in the chat. Maybe you're not in the comment section, but you guys watch. I've met a lot of people this year who don't necessarily comment or engage in this. That's fine. Some people you just want to listen. Some people are working during this. You play this back while you're doing some work or cleaning the house. But shout out to everyone who watches. But I really love seeing people that I don't see them in the chat. But like, yeah, man, I watch every stream and I see, listen, people are taking notice, and I appreciate the support you guys give. So there you have it. Big day tomorrow. We'll see what transpires. I do think at least one tour debut. I would say I'm going to go ahead and say 2 tour debuts tomorrow. Two tour debuts tomorrow. They will march on. And let's show you guys the tour. Here we go. They go right to Phoenix, Chula Vista, Mountain View, Hollywood Bowl. I do think, and maybe we'll talk more about this tomorrow. I do think that the way this band is, like even tonight, you could tell, like, people were saying, John was saying, it felt like the band, Hines was saying the band slowed down a little bit, right? Or they were just kind of exhausted from the Gorge. It felt like they were just kind of getting their bearings. Some slower songs, not as high energy all the time. It was ups and downs, as Aunt Karen said. Auntie Karen, shout out to her. It felt like it was a roller coaster, and that's what we've been hearing from the people at the Gorge as well that went to the Gorge. So I think they'll build up, and you'll have some more higher energy moments. You got Lion Our Grave still up here. You still got Dancing Nancy still available to be drafted to this. You have Pig, right? There's so many different things. You have so much to say. Bridge Too Much. Poor guys only had a week off. Yeah, those poor guys. I feel bad for them. But yeah, I mean, but it's interesting because even like West Palm Beach, you can tell they're like, oh, we got to play again. Those are rescheduled shows, but sometimes that fatigue hits you in different parts, and they're getting older. So because they've already been through so many different tour stops, even with the week off, that you can get some fatigue. That altitude is a thing. Yeah, I hope Rashawn is okay though. I know I talk about it, I don't like it. I hope he really is okay. To play the trumpet at altitude, I'm sure is challenging. I was a woodwind clarinet player back in the day. Honors one at that my senior year. I was in the honors band. So yeah, I mean it's hard to play at at sea level. But the altitude, Rashawn's blowing into that trumpet extremely hard, and so maybe that played a factor. But I do hope he's okay. I hope the whole band is good. It's a chilly day, altitude. I hope they're ready to go for tomorrow. That's it. That's the show. We will let's see. We'll try to get a close out here. Let's see. We'll close out with this. Let's see what we can do. Oh, what we'll do? We'll close out with this break free. Listen, this performance is bananas. Bananas. It is amazing. It is amazing to hear this. This is the Eric Krasno break free. And as many people listen, if there was no Solis on Watchtower, this would have been one of the moments of the weekend outside of that 34. So I want you guys to watch this, and this will be the outro video. Don't forget to hit the like button. YouTube Concert Viz 34. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Concert Vids 34. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful night.
Because our good friend Eric Krasno is here, we have to ask him to come up and join us and hear some of his beautiful music, Always Butterfly. This is a good place to get the help. You know? Lucky. said, gonna make you wanna climb right up yourself. Said to break free, might have to give up your life. But I was thinking, I'd love to get inside you. Drinking poison if you fail to come. You make me crazy, baby, don't let up. If I'm falling, I don't wanna stop. Give up everything I have, your love. Been drinking poison if you fail to come. Dry your tears, don't you cry, 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 cry. She is a wicked heart, yes she is. She goes down so hard, she might never come back. She's gonna break free, the way she loves.